So I spent 3 hours capturing SLC badges, and here's the best of like everything, because there's just so much footage that if I were to make it into a normal story it would just take forever. So we also waited out a bounty entirely in their fort and they did not notice at all. We also noticed here that there's a colonist in the SLC fort. I didn't notice he was a colonist at the time, so I just started shooting at him because, you know, people inside the SLC fort that aren't SLC is pretty rare. It starts off with us just shooting here. We have the high ground, so we're actually going to leverage it on him until he gets up here, at which point he decides to jump down to a less favorable position. But here's the thing, we have good internet now, so we can quick drop, and he dies. But I didn't know it at the time. He actually had a friend on, so we shot him, but it appears that his internet is not good enough to quick drop, so he tries cutting us. We get hit once, but because of the sword, he has to hit us 3 times, we only have to hit him twice. We also got a ton of loot from that one, but that's not enough. We need to fight some actual St. Lawrence Company members, so we start shooting these people here, and there's this guy. We hit one of them in a duel. We don't have any primary. I thought this guy was an actual colonist until we approached the guy, and I noticed he's guarding it, which is pretty suspicious, and then he finally decides to attack us. Thankfully, we can actually tank the hits here because he has a sword, which means he's got to 3-tap us, and we only have to 2-tap. Then we get some more loot, pretty standard loot. We also got this totally real dog walk that is not at all just a Holstein. We then got shot, which was almost even more real than the Holstein, or the dog lock. I keep calling it a Holstein because it's spoiler alert, it's a Holstein. They just named it something special. And then we walked right in here, and he paid absolutely no attention, and eventually got his teammate killed because, you know, he just completely ignored it. We then got another full set of gear, and then finally decided to make our way back because that wasn't enough. Then we noticed that there's 2 people here and they're shooting at us. I didn't realize it at the time, but this guy's French who's shooting at us long before we ever shot at him, even though we've already shot one of the St. Lawrence Company members who are British. So I don't know why they're both teaming to attack us, but you know, that's the thing. We eventually are able to get out by going up here, and we eventually start running again, but the French guy keeps shooting and missing, so we keep running because, you know, the French is following us again and again and again. He just doesn't want to give up, until eventually we wind up here where we claimed our SLC badges and just 8 million IQ'd them out of their existence. And while they're going in searching for us inside the fort, we're just going to run away until they finally realize by the time we're at the St. Paul smithing town. Then, while we're still running out our bounty for capturing SLC badges, we used the 8 million IQ strategy, as well as we also decided to loot this guy. But oh, look at what's inside! It's a subscribe button. You should subscribe 100%. Anyways, yeah, back to the video. We got a home invasion, except we have guns. Then our gun just decides no internet today, so we gotta reload. This guy, even though we're a colonist, decides to not bandage and instead just keeps running, and eventually we shoot him. Then another guy decides to commit home invasion. Again, this time it's a St. Lawrence Company member, and he dies. At least I think it's a St. Lawrence Company member. He had some St. Lawrence Company gear on him. Then another St. Lawrence Company member comes in like less than 100 seconds later from that first battle. So we're just running away at this point, and on our way to go collect the badges, we spot somebody in the mountains who's also watching us. So we decide to head around, and we wait out a little while until he finally goes for the bait. And then we finally go around this house, and it just despawns aliens confirmed and Northwind added. Then we finally head over here to the smithing shop area, where I went to sell off all the gear I have, but some guy tries to ambush us. Then we heal up. We wait for our bandage to be fully finished, and then we finally run across, but because our internet just decides not to exist, our bandage just scams us worse than a Chinese knockoff. We finally get into the store, and we decide the 8 million IQ strategy of buying a blunderbuss. We just gotta wait for it to finally give it to us. Once we have it, we decide to reload it. The blunderbuss is pretty infamous for its one-shot kills, which somehow even work with an incredibly laggy internet sometimes. Then this guy, just the same guy from earlier that we quick drop with 400 ping, finally kills us, and we die. But here, a quick interview. This is why I use broadaxes over swords. I decided just, you know what, let's stop using an expensive gun and just destroy our melee weapon, because at the end of the day, guns can only do so much. And the thing about a broadaxe is you can 2-tap with broadaxes, so, you know, even though it's a little slower, it's got that range that you can 2-tap at. It's just not very useful to fight against it if you only have melee. Then we use a blunderbuss in the St. Lawrence Company base, and here we see a guy going there, so we immediately chase him. We almost got spotted in this part, considering he was down there. We may actually have gotten spotted, but either way it doesn't really matter because we have a blunderbuss and there's only one of them. So hi there. Yeah, anyways, we got that. I forgot to reload the blunderbuss. I don't know why, but I collected a bunch of epic gear and then didn't reload the blunderbuss, which is a problem because he has like 3 of his friends on, and then this guy just decides to attack us and we die. Eventually, like, the other teammates also came in, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. The other half of like the 6 hours of footage I have is coming out sometime soon, maybe, I don't know. Alright, see you guys later, goodbye, subscribe.